Okay, this is Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. So today we are going live. We are looking at essentially how money is the cause of stress and worry. Today we're going to actually look at how we can solve those problems. And we're going to essentially look at the one biggest thing that I learned as a financial advisor. So as a qualified financial advisor, kind of giving financial advice, financial planning to $1 million clients. And the one big takeaway essentially is what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to reveal that in just a moment, but let's talk about why money is so important, why it's so important to understand. So there's so much. Money is the biggest cause of stress and worry today. So there was a poll and survey done there was money causes the biggest stress and is often one of the biggest arguments when people have kind of relationship problems. So essentially, I want to solve those problems. So we have lots of financial anxiety. People are living paycheck to paycheck. We're in the financial, we're in the biggest kind of biggest crisis in cost of living that's been in recent times. Poor money management means that people are struggling to cover expenses, and people, even if you can kind of make your head over water, then it's how you actually invest that in the future. So people are often having debt issues, feeling overwhelmed, kind of no clear goals where they want to head towards, and it's causing relationship stress, missed tax benefits, and limited freedom. So life is for living. So it's all about getting money confidence. So knowledge is such a powerful thing to attain. We're living in a knowledge economy where kind of knowledge and power can give you kind of opportunities out there to kind of live a better life. So there's so many opportunities out there. As a financial advisor, I learned kind of all the insider knowledge and going to basically give this away to you. So as I said before, I've got a book called Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. It was shortlisted for the Financial Times Writing Prize in 2018, and it was an Amazon bestseller in 2019. So check that out. It's a 5-step method to getting more money in your pocket, more time in your day, and more happiness in your life. So it's going to bring you financial freedom. So breaking free from those constraints, pursuing a dream, and enjoying financial flexibility where you have the choice to choose how to spend your day, where to go around the world, not tied to a job, not having to be there 9 to 5. Time is going to be on your side. So time is one of the biggest assets you have. We're all given kind of a limited life to live. So it's about making the most of that. So having more me time, maybe indulging in your passions, what you kind of dream to do as a kid, you can actually do that. If you have enough cash in your pocket, enough cash flow to spend, then that's going to give you kind of power to go out and do that. It means maybe spend more time with your family. You don't have to kind of, missed opportunities that you're working late because you're trying to pay the bills, and you're missing out on kind of time that you could be spending with your family. Inflation's another big point. So inflation's kind of zoomed up massively. When I used to do these talks 5 years ago, people weren't even sure about didn't know what inflation was, but now it's kind of, as people go to the shops and see how kind of prices are zooming up, kind of when they fill their car up and you see how expensive petrol is, when they try and book a holiday abroad, you kind of realize how inflation's kind of eroded your spending power in your back pocket. So you want financial security that is going to protect your family future, leave a kind of a meaningful legacy as well. So this is what I'm going to learn about today. So essentially, why invest? Why bother? What is this investing thing all about? So I guess it's about living a better life. You're going to have better lifestyle after kind of friends and family. Lifestyle is kind of what people want out of life. You want your freedom and pursuit of happiness. So the aim, what I talk about in the book, Millennial Money Mindset, is essentially about being what is called FIRE. So FIRE is a kind of a movement that started in America, and it means financial independence, retire early. So it means you have enough assets like property, have money in the stock market, have a big enough pension that you can retire early and work for joy rather than necessity. Kind of have essentially waking up so each morning feels like the weekend, more time to choose how you spend. So one of the things I teach is a 5-step method. So talk about a 5-step method, and I'm just going to. So what I do, I go through this using money coaching, so reducing stress and worry. So I've often done one-to-one coaching. There's courses that I put on, and I do these kind of events every last Tuesday of the month, generally because that's when people get paid. So they've got money to invest. So asset allocation is what we're going to learn about today. But really just here's a slide showing how much that cost of financial advisors. So if you pay for what I used to do as a job, financial advice, you pay a 5% initial fee and then a 1.9 ongoing fee. And you can pay that to deep discount brokers that you can get just by Googling. That's a 0.22% charge. You can even pay less than that. You're going to save tens of thousands of pounds, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds over your investing lifetime. This is what I'm going to show you how to do today. So I go through a 5-step method. The 5-step method is ownership, dream big dreams, survivorship, have enough of money to survive before you can thrive, diversify your assets, and then rebalance, where you're basically reinvesting every year back into your own investment. And that sounds complicated, and perhaps it is. It's the tricky of the 5 steps to do. But we're going to go into diversify, number 4 today. So for the 4th step in money mindset is diversify. We're going to talk about asset allocation. So just to talk about Money Tips, so my company is called Money Tips, which is an education company. So we guide, we don't advise, we don't give financial advice. I used to be a financial advisor offering one-to-one clients, but we give education and guidance. So we educate and empower you to make better decisions with your money. So you make the final decision, and this is going to save you money over time. This is how we can save money rather than paying expensive financial advisors or expensive brokers. We go deep discount brokers. We give the best menu of options, and essentially we build use only trusted platforms, FCA regulated platforms, building long-term wealth. So we offer one-to-one coaching. This is before we talk about asset allocation. We talk about investing your course and building. We've got a monthly membership to build, put more money in your pocket, more time in your day, and more happiness in your life. And we have 10 books actually that we publish that are on the website. So if you like reading, buy one of those books or go on the website moneytips.org. Tips is spelled with 2 P's. And I've got a podcast called Millennial Money Mindset and a YouTube channel called Millennial Money Mindset. And also we're on TikTok. We're on TikTok live at the moment. So hello to all the TikTok people. Thank you. Please like, please subscribe, please tell a friend about Money Tips and about Millennial Money Mindset. Okay, we've got a bronze, silver, gold, platinum package, but we won't go into this because we're running out of time. So we're going to go, here's my my website. You can see, if you're on TikTok, you can see my moneytips.org website. It's just there. So guys, let's go into it. So super excited to announce that after my first book, Millennial Money Mindset, I've now got a second book coming out called Football Finance, Manage Your Money in 90 Minutes. And it's the more you learn, the more you earn. So it's a book about asset allocation, how to make money work for you, put money into your pocket, time your day, and happiness in your life. So basically, what I teach is each chapter is a different asset class. So we're going to go through this in turn and essentially going to go through each asset class, which each chapter. So everything you need to know about investing is going to be here. So we're going to talk about index funds. We're going to talk about if you want to go active investor. We're going to talk about bonds. We're going to talk about property. We're going to talk about growing countries, growing companies. We're going to talk about commodities. So think about oil, gas, wheat. So all this is making up your asset allocation, and also you as the most important asset. So we're going to go through this in turn and explain more about this. So you need to insure yourself against loss or harm. So you can actually get insurance to cover yourself for any losses. So we need to face facts that time have changed. So the nature and work, lifestyle and wealth is changing faster than ever before. So this is, I've got a quote here from Daniel Priestley, and it is from the book, The Entrepreneur's Revolution. Just give a thumbs up if you've heard about this. Daniel Priestley, he was actually on, he's been, if you saw the diary of the CEO, he's actually been on the diary of the CEO like 3 times, and he was in the debate this week actually. So it's very interesting that this is the quote I'm using, because I used this quote since I've been doing these talks 5 years ago, and he's now become kind of blown up this week, fun enough, Daniel Priestley. And he's saying that his quote, what is taking place is a revolution. Everything you know it will change in the coming years. The nature of work, lifestyle, and wealth is changing faster than ever before. And I've been using this quote for 5 years, and it's never been more true than it is today. So we've got this entrepreneur's revolution where you have to kind of make understand that what you do is you're gonna have to take action and actually be the owner of your own life. So don't sit back and kind of consume. Actually go out and be an investor and actually make decisions and actually put money into the stock market or property. You have to actually invest. So we're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about investing and financial planning. So we're going to kind of talk a bit more about where you want to get to long term. But think about, first of all, you need to set financial goals. So what does this mean? So actually, you want to set financial goals so you know where you want to get to. So the best way I think about this is through an analogy, a football analogy. So think if you live a good life, so you live 90 years old. So start off at the pitch, right? So if you like a football game, if you live to 90 years old, like 90 minutes on the pitch, you live a good life. So, and you've got your goals here. So you've got, every time you go out and earn money, money goes into your pocket, right? So you've got this pound coin here, you go out and earn money, money goes into your pocket. This is the goal. That's your goal there. So you score a goal, money goes into your pocket, concede a goal when money goes out of your pocket. Okay. So when you go through expenses, you pay money, money goes out of your pocket. When you make money, money goes into your pocket, you score a goal. Why do you feel so bad when if you get to the end of the month and you don't have any money left over? Maybe you have to go into debt or whatever. It's like losing a goal, right? Money, like when you score a goal, money goes into your pocket and you make money. It's like scoring a goal. You get that endorphin rush at the end of the month. You have some money you can invest. And the secret is, if you invest without even thinking about it, money goes, every time you get paid, money should go into an investment vehicle, put money into the stock market, put money into savings, put money into index tracker, and over time that's going to build up over compound interest. Don't sell, rebalance. So number 5 of money mindset goal is don't sell, rebalance. You don't want to buy and sell, and because you're going all the time, you want to buy and hold and just build up cash, build up capital over time. And by the end of your working life, when you get to 40, 50, 60, you've built up your whole working life of capital accumulation, and that's going to pay for you. So if you have enough property, for instance, you're going to get rent. If you've got money in the stock market, you're going to get dividends, a share of the profits. If you've got money in a bank or bond, you're going to get interest on those bank or bonds. So the aim is to have enough assets to pay you an income so you don't need to work, or you have the option to work. So think about, so what is your goal? So the number 1 is, think of it like, how do you win? How do you get the trophy? How do you get the crown? So understand how much you need, how much is enough. So imagine, so for me, it's £1 million, which I've been working on £1 million, saying that for many years. But if you understand how to invest, you understand the 4% rule, which I go through in other videos, but take out only 4% of that £1 million and you can get £40,000. So even if you put it into a bank and get really safe investment, you can get 4% interest rates these days. My pen's running out. I'm going to grab another pen. You can get 4% interest rate. And 4% of 100,000 is 40,000. You can live off £40,000. And that's number 1. So you need to start with the end in mind, start with a goal in mind. What goal are you searching for? Is £1 million not enough for you? Do you want bigger dreams? Do you want £10 million, a Ferrari, then you're going to need a bigger number. You need to understand your number. What's your number? So for me, that's enough. £40,000 is enough to live on for the rest of my life. And then you need £1 million, if that makes sense. So we're going to go through each player in turn. So each player is like an asset class. So we're going to go through, there's 11 players on the pitch. We're going to go through really quickly each one. So some of them aren't right for you. Some of them, so I recommend picking five of these players that I talk about, depending on how much time you have to invest. So or how much knowledge you have, how much time you want to train for getting to. So the more risk you take, the more the kind of the higher assets they are. So the higher assets are like your strikers; they score goals. The lower assets down here, your defenders, they're much less risky. So your defenders are much less risky, but you're much less likely to score goals. Right? They're going to be solid. I'm going to go through. So let's go through each of them in turn. So player number one is you. So you're your first asset on the team, right? So number one is you. So number one is you. This is your asset here. So you can go out and get a job. You can work. When you work, you get paid. That money is put aside for your long-term future. So the good news is, even if you live in the UK, as soon as you get paid, that money is now automatically going into a pension. So you're being auto-enrolled into a pension. You don't have to think about that. That became law in 2012, I believe, really recently, actually. So number one is you. So you can go out and work. You can build your skills. You can build your knowledge. You can build your expertise and get paid. So the more you learn, the more you earn. So the more money you know, the more stuff you know. If you're a high-paying lawyer, if you're a high-paying doctor, if you're an architect who's worked 7 years getting trained, you're going to much more likely to get paid much more than if you just didn't train and you work at McDonald's, for instance. So the McDonald's, you don't have to train for years to work at McDonald's. If you're a doctor, you have to train for years, but that means you're going to get paid much more. Okay, so the more time you spend training, the more wealth you're going to get. If you come on one of my courses, learn skills how to invest, you're going to get more money into your pocket. You're going to cut out those silly spending and put more money into your pocket, right? That's you, number one, right? So the next one, then it goes, is so money. So number one is the next one is money. So you save, then you put money aside into savings account. You want an emergency fund. So when the market crashes, you don't want to be selling all your stocks and shares, your property in a crash. You don't want to be selling your property because you're going to get a really rubbish deal. You want to have enough emergencies in cash, and that's going to give you huge peace of mind. If you've got £1 million if you've got, say, £20,000 in the bank and the market's crashing, you lose your job, you've got £20,000. That's going to give you survival. That's going to give you enough kind of time to, find another job or build another skill or sort yourself out. If you've only got £10 in your pocket, the landlord needs money to pay your rent. You need to pay the landlord's rent. That's going to be really stressful if you've got a small amount of cash. So ideally, you want as much cash as a 3-month cash buffer. Easier said than done, right? But yeah, ideally. So number one, so this is your goalkeeper. This is your defender, cash, money. Then you can so you've got 3 players. So bonds, property, dividends. So bonds are boring. Bonds are super boring. That's where you're lending money to companies or governments. So governments have this thing called premium bonds. You can lend money to governments. They will pay you a certain. It's like almost like a lottery. They have prize money, but it averages out at 3 or 4%. It's pretty low money. That's your player number 3. You potentially buy a property. We can talk about property. That's player number 4. Or you can get dividends. Understanding dividends. So dividends are part of the profits. So when you buy shares, companies like Google, Amazon, Netflix, they pay out a dividend, which is part of the profits. And so the ups and downs of the market is only half the story. Every year, without fail, you get dividend, and that's a defensive asset. So that's not right for everyone, but they basically provide you with a dividend. So the ups and downs of the market become irrelevant. So you've got bonds, property, So property, is it crazy expensive? It's easier said than done. If you live in, I live in Oxford. Oxford's crazy expensive. If you live in London, really crazy expensive. But historically, property's been a brilliant asset to have. If you can get on the property market, then that's brilliant. There's loads of different strategies you can do with property. You can leverage it. You can, buy a rundown property. You can do it up. There's lots of ways to add money into property, and I teach this all in my courses. So they're the next three. So then the next we've got commodities. So what are commodities? So commodities are gold. So gold's been going up massively, like hard assets like gold, oil. Oil's, historically is done really well in the last, 20, 30 years. Things like wheat. So people need food to eat. You can buy and sell wheat. So this is really, really volatile though. So it goes up and down like the run of play, like football. So I used to trade gas. Gas is a commodity. Gas is historically really, really volatile because there's only you can only last a few hours without as a nation without gas, especially in like winter months. People consume gas, and it's very, very volatile. So it's not a player for everyone. And then on the next winger is an index tracker. So pretty safe, pretty boring. Index tracker just tracks the market up and down. So you don't need to know much, how much, I guess, knowledge, intelligence. You don't have to know much skill. It just literally just tracks the market up and down. So S&P 500 has come down recently because of Trump's tariffs. So that's come down massively. But you could just write it out. Like if you you go to like financial Yahoo Finance or Google Finance, and you can go back, click all time, like it goes back 10, 20 years, and they've gone up like 700% just tracking the market. Super easy. Don't need to worry about timing. You just buy every month. So that's that. The middle player here is knowledge. So if you think actually index tracker is a bit boring, you can actually learn how to buy and sell individual stocks. So it's a much riskier strategy. It's like the higher up the pitch, the football pitch you get, the kind of the higher risk it is, but more likely to get you goals. And then you've got here growing countries, and then growing companies. So you've got growing countries. So think of like India, Brazil, Russia, China, South Africa, the BRICS. These are the growing countries. BRICS have kind of been around for these big, kind of think about China 20 years ago. It's growing hugely. India's growing hugely. They're still growing. They're growing massively. I mean, you could argue that there are other countries that are growing just as, or even quicker now. So things like Malaysia, Thailand, maybe Colombia, Mexico. These have got kind of arguably higher risk, but much more likely to get you kind of goals. So Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They're the BRICS. But there are others like the Mint, so Malaysia, Indonesia, Nigeria, and then T Thailand. I think T might be Thailand. So yeah, there's other strategies out there. These are growing countries, and then growing companies are, think of like growing companies that are gonna be big in 10, 20 years time. So think of 10 years ago would be Facebook was not known, or maybe longer now, maybe 20, 30 years. No one knew about Facebook. It wasn't even a company. But things like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. So these are the FANGs. So these are kind of growing companies. So you're thinking about next growing companies. What's going to be big in the future? Maybe it's something to do with blockchain. Maybe it's doing something nanotechnology. Maybe it's something to do with environmental, kind of solving the environmental crisis. Maybe it's something like that. But that's essentially companies of the future. So that's so far 10 players. And then the final is basically what is enough. You need to work out how much is enough for you to live your ideal life. And we work out that in our training program. You can join somewhere around this link. But this is football formation asset allocation. It's chapter 5 for my book, Millennial Money Mindset. And I've actually made a whole new book called Football Finances around this analogy, teaching how to invest around a football theme. This is asset allocation. This is the single most important thing you need to know about investing. I've even made it into a card game, which is called, I'm going to rebrand it as Extra Time. And it was in shops around Oxford. So yeah, this is my strategy, football formation, asset allocation strategy. And essentially it's teaching you how to save, spend, invest better. Hopefully that's been helpful. Please like, please subscribe, and please tell a friend about Millennial Money Mindset, my YouTube channel, my podcast, my book, Millennial Money Mindset, which is available in Amazon and all good shops. It's in Waterstone and Blackstone. What the other big shop that I've totally forgotten about. But they're charging £49. I think it's £47. Go on my website, moneytips.org, and you can get my book for £15. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. I'm just going to turn this off now.